Today we're going to be talking about Fedora 34, the beta or pre-release version. And first things first, we're going to go ahead and see if there are any updates available, and we're going to enable our third-party repositories. And it looks like we have quite a few updates available, so this is probably going to take a little bit, so we'll be back as soon as that's done. One big change between Fedora 34 and Fedora 33 is we can now see the progress for installing updates. And anybody who's used Fedora before, you can remember that on Fedora 33 we had that gray screen and you had like the little bar or dots in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. You didn't really know what was going on, so you didn't know how far it made it in the update process, if an update failed, whatever it may be, and they did a good job here of fixing that. Alright, so now we're back. We got the updates installed. The big difference between Fedora 33 and Fedora 34 is going to be GNOME 40. And that's what you see here, visually anyway. So you now have a new kernel. We're at 5.11. We have the ability to rearrange icons in here. In Fedora 33, which we'll show you in a second, it looked more like Launchpad on Mac. So here's Fedora 33. And as you can see, you just have the icons for your apps, whereas in Fedora 34, you had the ability to see your multitasking above all of your applications, which, switching back over, you'll see right here at the top. So now we're just going to open some applications and show you how the multitasking works. The main difference is in Fedora 33, we used everything on a vertical multitasking window that was on the right-hand side of your monitor or screen. And in Fedora 34, they updated that to mimic more of Mac OS multitasking, so everything's going to be moving horizontally rather than vertically. Functionally, it works the exact same. It's really going to come down to user preference here, whether or not you prefer to have it vertically or horizontally, but it shouldn't really change your overall workflow. So what we just showed you was how Fedora 33 multitasking worked with the vertical bar. Now we're going to go ahead and switch back over to Fedora 34, and we'll show you how that horizontal multitasking works. So we're going to open up a couple of apps and show you how that works. So you can either take an open application that you have and you can drag it physically right or left depending on how many workspaces you have open to the next available workspace, or you can take them and drag them up to the little workspaces that are above the like the launcher or like your app menu. And we'll show you this here. Anybody who's used Linux before knows that extensions are very important, and anytime you switch over to a newer version, you need to make sure that the extensions that you use have been updated. And so here I just wanted to show you guys a couple of the ones that I use personally, and some of them are updated. So you can see here that user themes does have an update for the GNOME 40, as well as the next one that we're going to look up. So for whatever reason, you can't have desktop icons out of the box in Fedora, so I use an extension in order to get icons on my desktop, and it does have the updated GNOME 40 update. However, that's not to say that all extensions will be updated at this time, especially since this is still in beta or pre-release. And another one that I use is called Dash to Dock, and unfortunately it's still on 3.38, as you can see here. So for me personally, I'm running this in a virtual machine, I'm not going to go ahead and take the time to update to Fedora 34 until some of the things that I use on a daily basis have been updated and proved working. And that's something that I recommend everybody does, just so that you're not without certain features, or you make sure that everything that you use on a daily is compatible, whether that be your printer, scanner, you name it. Next, we're going to take a look at the settings in Fedora 34. And I just want to show you that I am indeed running this in a virtual box or virtual machine, and that this is still the pre-release version. And it looks like after we did all those updates, the OS name has changed to just Fedora 34 Workstation Edition, so this is probably going to be as close to the final build as we get here. Nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and run through these settings really quick. At first glance, it doesn't look like a lot's changed. We're still sticking with the same user interface, and most of the options in all of these are the same as they are in Fedora 33. With one thing to note, some of these things under like network and Bluetooth and so forth that you're seeing on screen is not going to match what it looks like in your computer, because I am running this in a virtual machine. I did install GNOME tweaks so that I could go ahead and turn on our minimize and maximize buttons in Fedora, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at that real quick and go through the menu. For the most part, it looks the exact same as Fedora 33. I didn't test every feature in here extensively, but I did want to show you that the minimize and the maximize is working, because that's something that a lot of people do rely on. The next thing I tried to set up and test was Flatpaks. So I went to FlatHub.org and I went in and I tried to just do the quick setup and install that to see if that was working in the software center or the software store where you get your applications in Fedora 34. And so you'll see that right here. One thing I do recommend is that after you do the quick setup, you restart your machine, because, and I'll show you this, that after you add the Flatpak to your repository, it doesn't automatically show up in the software center until after you restart your machine. So I'm going to restart real quick, and then I'll show you that FlatHub's showing up in the software center. So we're going to look for something like Inkscape, and then you should be able to change where it says source. You can see you can choose between Fedora and FlatHub, so you just click FlatHub if that's where you wanted to download it from and click install. Alternatively, you can go to the FlatHub website if you don't want to integrate it with Software Center, and you can install that way. So the link, when you click on there, will just automatically open up to the corresponding link in the Software Center, and then you should be able to install it that way if you did not want to add the repository to your Software Center. And just to demonstrate that, I'm going to go ahead and install Spotify by using the link that was on the website. So it opened up in Software Center. I'm going to click install, and it's going to go through the installation process, which will speed up for the purposes of this video, and then I'll show you that Spotify opens fine. So I don't actually have a Spotify account to be able to log in and actually stream music, but as you can see, the application was able to launch and bring everything up fine, short of being able to log in. Fedora 34 has a lot of other changes under the hood that I can't really show you in this video, like the audio servers changed from Pulse Audio to Pipewire. Obviously, we discussed briefly that the kernel's been updated to 5.11. There was transparent compression added for Btrfs. That's going to help you optimize your SSDs. There are just a lot of different things that have been improved under the hood for Fedora 34 that I just couldn't visually show you. Another thing to note is Wayland is going to be the default for KDE Plasma rather than X11. But that about does it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button for me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace out.